All right, good morning. Welcome to Court Report. This, of course, is brought to you by Sherrill Auto and Tire Service. I'm Brad Hanson, Keegan Hewitt, along with me at the Resch Center, ready for day 2 of this 2024 WIAA Girls State Tournament. And Keegan, we had a great day yesterday. What stuck out to you about the action you saw yesterday?
The action we saw yesterday was high level and fast paced. That's what stood out to me yesterday. A lot of the games are up and down the court, but it was solid defense. It wasn't that the offense was taking control of the game by any means. I thought it was high level basketball, which is what you expect here at the Resch in Green Bay, and why it's so exciting this time of year to be here, Brad.
Yeah, you never really know what you're going to get in the in the semifinal games, and we saw kind of a mix of everything, right? We had 2 blowouts, which we're lucky if we stay at 50% close games in these games, but we had 2 really, really good games, including Cuba City with basically a buzzer beater, a shot with like 3 seconds left on the clock last night, and Xavier a comeback on Kettle Moraine Lutheran. That was super impressive as well. So now we get ready for Friday. This day, a little bit of a grind.
Yeah, this one's a little longer, 2 extra games on the slate today, but they're great games. In Division I and Division II, we got high-level basketball. Player of the Year, Allie Ziebel and Nina yesterday announced, so we'll get to see her take the floor this afternoon. We knew this tournament was full of high-level players, so it's nice that Friday's here, and we're going to know who our 5 set of state champion contenders are going to be by tomorrow, so that's a big, exciting part of today. Brad, I kind of want to ask you, as you were on the Laconia game yesterday and announcing games that go back and forth. Obviously, you can prep as much as you want for days like this, but when you have 2 great teams, good on good, you don't know what the outcome could be. Just kind of walk us through at home in Central Wisconsin how you prep for some of these teams that aren't really in our area, but you still can have the ins and outs and provide us statewide with bringing it right to our living room.
Yeah, the cool thing about the state tournament is we get the opportunity to introduce the entire state to these teams. You know, it's not like we're watching the Bucks or the Lakers where you know LeBron James, you know Giannis Antetokounmpo. Unless you're a hardcore girls basketball fan, you don't know names like Callista Vandenberg. You don't know names, like we saw yesterday at all. So, the prep work is pretty extensive because I don't know these teams either. And so where I start is with the coaches. And I'll make contact with all my coaches and usually ends up being about 45 minutes on the phone with them. And what I say to them is, hey, this is our chance to introduce your team and these girls to the state. Tell me anything and everything you can about them. And so I have them run me through their style of play, what the girls are like off the court. I try to coax some stories about maybe fun things they did throughout the season, superstitions, any routines they have, and then I have them take me through player by player. So I'll end up with about 5 to 6 pages worth of notes on all of these teams, and then I condense it into this. And here we've got the great Curtis Aderholt behind the camera helping us out. So I've got the Notre Dame Wauwatosa East game later today in Division II. Should be a really good ball game. This is the front side of my call sheet. So I've got the top players up top with their stats, points, what position they are, what year they are, 3-point percentage, free throw percentage. And then I've got some notes on them too, kind of the highlights of what these players are like. So Micaiah Litza, for example, she's crafty, an offensive facilitator, high basketball IQ. And then on the back, these are kind of my general team notes. So we know Wauwatosa East, this is their 3rd trip to state, what their style of play, how they got here, all that good stuff. So it is a lot of work as we lead up to this. And then once I have these compiled, I'll go online and find a game and call half of a game so I can kind of learn who the players are and what their numbers are, so that I'm not sitting here going, every time somebody does a shot. The more that I know about the team, the more I can just kind of free flow and talk about the action itself. So a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun. It's work I love to do. On your end, Keegan, you're spending a lot of time with the sideline reporting. What's the prep work like for you as you get ready to talk to these coaches both at halftime and at the end of the game?
Yeah, one thing that sticks out right away is you got to go with the flow of the ball game. So as much as you want to prep and understand who you're going to be dealing with, like yourself coming in, it's really focusing on and seeing the stretches, the runs of the game. Yesterday in the Laconia game in that first half, it ended as a 4-point game, but we had 2 10-point runs each way. So it's tracking that, taking a look at the stats along the way, keeping up with the game trends, and kind of being aware. You want to be in the moment and make sure the coach can relate with you when you talk to them, so they can give you some insight. And the more insight you have to bring to them, the more they're willing to share with you and give you that inside look at the locker room. So I think it's awesome that, especially here at the state tournament, we have the opportunity to get hands-on and hear right from the coaches and players immediately after those big wins and moving on to, like we said, the state championship game. So like you said, some preparation comes into it, definitely not as much as you guys are doing, so a huge shout out to the announcers bringing us to the living room, but it's awesome that we have the opportunity to get hands-on and bring these players and coaches statewide.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to kind of break down the schedule for today. So this is the unfortunate part. We're getting ready for Division 5 here this morning at the Resch Center. We thought we were going to have Assumption here, and what a heartbreaking end to the season. I know you were following their journey pretty closely. Pretty tough one to lose the way they did.
Yeah, shout out to Coach Klein and those girls. I know they battled hard, had a few injuries this year, but they definitely nothing to be ashamed of. They got back to the contention to be here and obviously come up just a few points short. But great season to Coach Klein, the Assumption Royals, and all those girls. I'm sure they were hoping to be here this morning playing in front of us as well. But a great season nonetheless. But we got two great teams here on the slate, Brad. Can you break down kind of who we're going to be looking at?
Yeah, I call this the slash game, or the dash game, or the hyphen game. I don't know what to call it. It's Argyle Pectonica versus Albany Monticello. So I'm actually quite glad I'm not on the call for this, because I don't know how you shorten I think you go Argyle Peck to shorten that one, but somebody said maybe you call them Albacello and Argatonica to make that a little bit shorter. So Carly Murata is going to be on the call for that. Michelle Griffin-Wenzel's her color commentator. That's going to be a good one. You'll see Keegan on the sidelines for that one too. That'll be good. And then Clear Lake and Lena, that's our other D5 semifinal game this morning. Nick Tabbert from our our Eau Claire affiliate will be on the call with Nikki Sutter, and then Scott Emmerich will be on the sideline for that game. This afternoon, this is going to be fun. Honestly, I don't know that the semifinals are going to be fun. The finals are going to be fun, because we've got Pewaukee and Notre Dame, who have been battling it out for really, they're two of the best teams in the state regardless of division, but they have to get to the championship in order to face each other. So Pewaukee is going to play West Salem in the afternoon. Scott Emmerich on the call with that. Michelle Poplinski will be by his side. Carly on the sideline. Keegan's going to be up in the host stand, so you'll see him at halftime during the intermission there, the Jones Dairy Farm halftime report. And then I've got the Wauwatosa East Notre Dame game, and this is going to be a fun one, because Wauwatosa East is this upstart team. They won 3 games 4 years ago. And so what a turnaround. They really have nothing to lose, and they're going against the powerhouse Notre Dame, who's won 3 straight state championships. Nobody's ever done 4. And they're looking to do that today. So that'll be the second game. And then Arrowhead and Franklin, Nina and Hartford tonight. As you mentioned, Allie Zabel, Miss Basketball. I know you know a little bit about her. What are you looking forward to seeing, the best basketball player in the state on this stage?
Yeah, all I know is when you get a player caliber that can get a scholarship, go Division I, but to UConn, a program that's won countless national titles at the collegiate level. She can play from 3, she can play off the dribble, she can pass the ball. She's everything you look for in a player, and that's why they're here in contention to win a state title. I'm really looking forward to, like you said, maybe that matchup Saturday, as we know it's going to be a good one with some high-level talent. Brad, I want to ask you, the energy's been in here as an hour until tip-off. As we got here, saw the clock coming down, fans filling in the stands. What was kind of the feeling yesterday when you saw the crowds and kind of the parents? Laconia stuck out to me. They were a loud crowd, but there was some energy in this building for sure.
Yeah, one of the things I love most about this tournament is the marching bands. And I think we have just one band this morning. Looks like it's Argyle Pectonica's band. That's kind of the nice thing about these co-ops in D5 is they have a little bit bigger pool to pull from. We love Assumption. There's only so many people that are coming to an Assumption game because it's a small school in a community that's got a larger public school. These two schools, these are 2 towns coming out, and I'm impressed with how big the crowd is already. These D5 teams, they bring it energy-wise for sure. So yesterday was a ton of fun. Like you said, the energy in this building, Laconia for sure was the big one that stood out. Those are communities where they empty out for these tournaments. They bring everybody. and it's a good feel. The student section is always the first to fill up. You know, they're ready to go. They're not going to have a problem. The only hope is that we get a close game. If we have a close game, that keeps everybody in the arena in it, and it's a lot more fun. All right, any final thoughts as we get ready for day 2 of this tournament?
No, I think we're set to wrap up here. It's been excited. We're excited for day 2. I'm sure you guys can feel the energy through us. Should be set for a good one. Thank you guys so much for joining us this morning on our Sherrill Auto and Tire Court Report. For Brad Hansen and Keegan Hewitt, we'll see you guys on the stream this afternoon.